Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. If you're returning, welcome. It's good to see you back. And if you're a new visitor to this channel, welcome. Today we're going to be discussing more about the clairsentience of spiritualism. This is the easiest sense that we're born with, the most natural sense. We all know how to feel things. We were born, apparently, in the parents' womb. We feel the tensions. We feel when they raise their voice. We feel the tension in our mum's bodies. So we learn from a very young age, as I say, pre-birth, how to soothe what's going. So when we are born, we don't actually feel too frightened of people raising their voices or shouting, particularly if that's a home that you're being born into. So clairsentience is one of the easiest clair for us to get a grip on. We did touch on it in the last video when I asked you to feel what you were seeing, as well as just looking at what you're seeing. But today I really want to work on our clairsenses. It is, I say, one of the easiest ones and one of our strongest ones. But I think they're all easy. They all use our own skills, our own knowledge. I looked back on a video I recorded last week, and I noticed I said a lot of so's. So we'll do this, and so about that, and so on. So today I'm going to try and use a little less so that should be interesting. Because I can't boast you that I've annoyed myself so much on the other videos on my so we'll do this, and so we'll think about that, and so we'll meditate. I've annoyed myself so much I'm not posting that one. I'm going to start again. So signs of a natural clairsentient ability. Glasses on and off, that might be a feature today. If you tend to focus most on how things emotionally feel to you during the day, the chances are you are most open to feeling or sensing based clairsentience. What you remember and how you learn most easily is associated with the emotions you feel and awareness of your physical body. Clairsentience is often the first and easiest to develop when you explore your sixth sense. You intuitively sense energies from the environment, other people, animals, and the spirit world. When you are going somewhere, do you get a gut feeling of excitement or a feeling of anxiety? The hair on the back of your head might stand up, or you get feelings of heaviness or lightness about an event or a room or a place. We naturally use our clairsentience all the time. We are always picking up sensory information. It's just a matter of consciously tuning into our feelings and picking the right information. The more you practice your clairsentience, the more confident you become, and the more you can trust the information, whether it is a spirit communicating or a personal insight that you need to become aware of. Our body reads the room, our body tells the truth. Right, so some forms of clairsentient information that you may not have used yet. Gut feelings are common. They're a common way in which spirit communicate with us. They're also a very good way of attuning to our own instincts. So spirit may impress aches and pains onto our body. A lot of mediums work like this. I work like this. I may get a headache, or I feel breathless. My feet might hurt. I might in arthritis feeling, or I might get a cough, or I might get my voice taken away, which might happen today. So everything that we feel during communication or throughout our day can be relevant to the spirit world. You may have a gut feeling or hunch about someone or something. You tend to get overwhelmed in large crowds. When you walk into a room, you can tell if there's tension in the air. You've been known to describe buildings and things as heavy or light energy. You have very strong first impressions about people that are always right. You understand easily and empathise with other people's perspectives. You experience chills or get goose pimples as a sort of validation of the truth. When speaking, you tend to use the language "I feel that" rather than "I see." You easily read people and feel their pain or joy within your own energy. You notice breezes in a room without explanation for why. You feel sometimes that there's someone in the room with you, but you can't explain why you get that feeling. You may get the shivers, or you may look behind you, you see something walking past you. So you feel someone's in the room, you can't see them, but you might feel someone over there or there's someone behind you. Your mood fluctuates depending on other people's moods. That's quite an interesting one and quite an annoying one. If you're happy and then somebody becomes miserable, and it can deflate your own mood and you start feeling tense and nervous. And a lot of times you'll think, are they in a mood with me? Have I upset them? Something like that going on. You can feel in your gut when someone is telling the truth or when they are lying. That's an interesting one. I feel, from speaking for myself, that yes, we can feel it, but we often ignore it because as we start on this journey, we tend to be quite trusting, sensitive souls. So, back to the journal. Write your experiences, how, when and where you experience emotions, feelings in your body. Who did you empathise with? Keeping notes will enable you to become conscious of spirit connection. And that's the thing, we have this natural spirit connection each and every day, every hour of our waking day, and our dreams as well. But making notes makes these communications become conscious. And that's really important, obviously, as a medium, to become conscious of the things that we are receiving. So, other forms of clairsentience. Knowing when someone is upset or angry, even when they try to conceal it. Feeling nauseous when someone pregnant or unwell is close to you. I think a lot of us suffer this secondary pregnancy when our daughters are pregnant. We kind of like think, I feel a little bit sick. Or a close friend. Being about pregnant women can bring about symptoms. That's very common. We can absorb the aches and pains of others. So I might get backache if somebody in spirit has suffered with backache. I'm shivering at the moment, so I know spirit is drawing close. Knowing when someone is lying or concealing their motives. We might know, we might not be able to prove it, we might not mention it, but we will take it away and think about the discomfort we felt, what they might be saying or not saying. You are a pet whisperer. You naturally understand and feel what animals are feeling. There's a lot of people say that we transfer our emotions, our feelings onto animals, but we know with our own pets when they're low or when they're down, when they want to go out. So we do, I believe, know a lot about our animals. We can feel how they are feeling. You can feel tired or energized in the presence of some people. We can either repel or absorb the energy into our body, which is extremely true. I feel myself as a medium, I need lots of space away from people. I absorb far too much energy, positive and negative. Positive energy can be just as exhausting as negative energy. So yeah, we are either trying to repel or absorb that energy into our body. It's all done unknowingly, and as we become more aware, as we work through this book, we'll learn how to do that. We'll learn how to put energy and protect ourselves and put shells around us. So protection it's a big part of mediumship, but not in a negative way, not for repelling or sending back evil spirits, because I've never encountered evil spirit. I don't want to negate anybody else's experience, it's just never been mine, but I definitely feel that we all need to repel negative energy. It can be from somebody who actively dislikes us, or it can be picking up when someone's angry or depressed, and those energies can't help us. They're not our energies. We have to send them into the world for spirit to deal with. So we are there we go, spirit's back. Right, clairsentience can be confused with making an empathic and or psychic connection with people. So the only way we can tell whether it's spirit communication or friend communication or earthly energy, the only way we can really tell when we start this journey is by asking people to confirm it, to sit in circle. And for people watching this on their own and doing the meditations on their own, please make a note of it so you can ask people throughout the week, how are they feeling, can they relate to what you got in your meditation, which we'll do shortly. But yeah, the only way we can tell, the most common question in circle is, it might be my imagination, but I just felt, and only separating, you can only separate it from your imagination by giving out to somebody who can take the message from spirit. Right. Yeah, mediums are particularly sensitive to energies and connect to how others are feeling and what they may be thinking, and it can be intrusive if not controlled by us. So yeah, we can open and close in our mediumship. I'm always closed until I open, so I've never been a thing for me. I'm always quite happy to ignore them. When I want to work with spirit, I do a meditation, I open up. So as I say, that's not been a thing for me, but there are exercises we can do to close ourselves down and ground ourselves so that spirits we don't want, they can't come close. So now I'm going to do, we've talked a little there about clairsentience, how it feels and what it might mean. I'm going to do a little bit of a short meditation now on clairsentience, so you can get a grasp of what we need to do and how we can strengthen our natural ability. So just sit comfortably, close your eyes and take 2 deep breaths. I want you to become aware of your out breath without changing the rhythm, and just remain sitting and observing the flow of your breath for 1 minute. Now I'd like you to visualise yourself in a crowded room at an event of your choosing. You could be at a party or a conference or a church meeting. The room is crowded. You have just entered and are examining the people in the room. How does the person in the centre of the room, surrounded by people who are listening to them and clearly enjoying their company, make you feel? Would you avoid them, or would you join the group surrounding them? Do they feel authentic to you, or are they putting on a show? Are they naturally friendly or just networking? Then I want you to visualise 2 or 3 people sitting together and having an intimate conversation. How do you feel about these people? Do you feel they are gossiping or being kind? Are they just sharing their own personal experiences? Can you tell by their expressions, their energy, how they are interacting? What about the person in the corner? Can you feel if they are uncertain about their role at the event? Have they achieved what they came for and are now choosing to be on their own? Are they being deliberately ignored? How do you feel about them? Do you feel they're content, relaxed on their own, or do you feel they're a bit sad and lonely? Which group or person would you like to join and why? Okay, start coming back into the room. Feel your feet on the floor. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Feel your weight on the chair. Finally, open your eyes and become aware of the room. Discuss the meditation. If you're working on your own, write down the meditation. Write down your thoughts and your feelings, how you responded to the different groups, and record where you felt the emotions in your body, because that will become relevant as we work with spirit. Where do you feel the emotions? So I want you to consider the following questions. And when we've listened to these questions, I want you to write the questions and answers down in your journal. How did you feel when meeting someone for the first time that you felt uncomfortable with? Where was that feeling in your body? Was it in your stomach? Was it in your shoulders? Was somebody you thought, oh, I don't really like them? Where did you feel that? They may have appeared friendly, but you felt that this was untrue. How did you sense that? Were your first impressions proven right? What part of your body did this feeling affect? Make a mental note of that for your journal later. Now I want you to remember a situation when they first met someone they resonated positively with. Consider where in the body this resonated with you. Where are you sensing them this time? Is it more heart-centered? Do you feel more energized? Do you feel more chatty? You want to talk more to them? So if you meet someone that you feel you have a connection with, where do you feel that in your body? So where did you feel the positive and negative emotions? These impressions are part of your sentience response. Record them in your journal for future reference because they won't change. Spirit, I have found, and I believe that once Spirit find a way to work with us, they never change it. They don't make life complicated. I also believe that certain spirits work with certain mediums. So somebody more outspoken than me might prefer to work with someone else. I do find sometimes a spirit with lots of energy, I feel myself moving quicker and talking quicker, because I'm quite a slow mover and quite a slow talker. So I tend to draw hopefully more gentle people. I think I'm gentle, rather than the fast talking, energized kind of spirit. Right, as you progress, more development of clairsentient skills. You may be ready for this, I don't know. Recall, consider how you feel spirit drawing close. For a lot of us, we get the shivers, we get the goosebumps. Some of us might get hot. How do you feel spirit drawing close? Often, quite common, when we're communicating with spirit, they will show us how they died by showing us how they felt. For somebody who was very poorly, I might start feeling tired. If I pass quickly, I might be full of energy and feeling a little bit shocked. So that is how they work with me. I feel how they passed. you have earache, perhaps spirit was suffering from some form of deafness before they passed, or earaches, or perhaps they just pretended not to listen, perhaps they were just ignorant people. You have to sense what spirit is telling you. So when you first start, you start asking questions. Are you being rude? Does your ear hurt? Is someone shouting at you? Why are you taking my attention to feeling what's going on in my ears? And then as we progress, we'll start to think more about spirits, how they look, how they are. So you can ask them, or you can feel how large the energy is, how tall, how wide, how far away. Are they standing really close? Are they standing distance? Are they behind us? Are they shy? Are they pushing? You can feel all of that with the strength of the energy and how close they come to you. Right. How does a love feel? Does it feel like a motherly love, really soft and loving? How mothers are imagined to be. Not all mothers are like that. Or is a more protective love, like a father, older brother, older sister? A brotherly love, or distant love, or an aunt or a cousin. So if you don't feel enveloped by the love and the communication, it could be a cousin or a distant, more distant kind of relative coming close. So how does the love feel? We've discussed. You must make your own interpretations based on your own experiences of your family. For example, if your father was distant, their spirit connection feels different, then it may mean a father figure drawing close. They can only use what you know about your father to interpret this father, if that makes sense. For me, it wouldn't be no use my bringing a really close, loving, understanding mother. Should be no use to me. I wouldn't recognise that as a mother. I might recognise that energy as a grandmother. So a spirit use what we know, and if we can, it's helpful to stay with that and not change that, to bring through what we know. We don't have to be brutal in our messages. You could say, I've got someone here that feels a bit distant, but she seems very familiar. So I feel it might be a mother, or it might be someone a bit more distant, like an auntie or a grandmother. So you may feel very strongly that it's a mother that is not very motherly, but there are ways of saying things. You have to excuse me with this spirit calling close here. Oh, a strong energy may mean a strong character, obviously. Now, if your father was distant and the spirit connection feels distant, sometimes they'll feel like they're standing over there instead of standing here. These are all things we can only get used to via practice. And our journal, always worry about the journal. So I want you to note in your journal how a father energy felt to you. What is a different energy to a mother and aunt, or a friend, or a sister? If you can make those distinctions between how your family relatives feel to you in that energy, are some pushy, are some distant, some not care, and you can then relate those feelings of that energy to whatever spirit is coming forward. Again, I'm automatically going into clairvoyance as well, because you will learn to use the two together, but I'm trying to stay on just the clairsentience. You can feel whether someone was frail before they passed. You can feel whether somebody was full of energy and passed quickly. Quite often now they'll come through with, don't know how that happened. 1 minute I'm well and 1 minute I'm not, because now I know I use all my clairs together. So yeah, I think finding who the spirits are in relation to the person we're given to the message to is not a huge responsibility. People will know who is talking to them. They'll know by your words and your actions, whether it's their mom, whether it's their grandma or sister or friend. They will know, be able to know themselves who's coming through. So it's not a huge responsibility. But feeling spirit is, feeling what they've come to say is important. So they might make themselves clear with how they're feeling about something. They might feel that someone has been poorly and wants some healing, so you might get a feeling of someone being poorly. They might get the feeling of someone going or just coming back off holiday, so they're feeling relaxed. So Spirit can only use what we know. They can only use our feelings and our thoughts, and that is why we have to interpret how they're making us feel. Sometimes if I feel full of energy, I know I've got an energetic spirit here, someone that didn't stop and like to be on the go all the time. So this is why clairsentience is so important. We can learn and feel such a lot about the spirit talking to us, which we can then relay to their friends. As you see, this is quite physically, they're taking my voice away, so I know that I have a spirit with me that couldn't speak before they passed away. I'm also feeling a little bit tired now, so I feel I've got a spirit drawing close and I really just want to go to sleep. So I have a spirit that died peacefully. They were tired and they just passed in their sleep. So yeah, I do feel this is a woman as well. So learn the difference between your female energy and the male energy. Although male can be female energy and females can be male energy, for the purpose of communication, if you can delineate or make a distinction between male and female energy, that will help you an awful lot. You can find out whether somebody, how do you feel? You'll start how you feel about being outside to inside. Did you like someone that being outside, like lots of walking, lots of fresh air? Or do you like someone that likes to be sat inside in the warm? These are, when you first start, I find, not so much now because they tend to tell me anyway, they tend to come to me anyway. But how you feel at the time of doing the reading, whether you, as I say, whether you feel sleepy or energized, is a good indication of what they want you to say. They might come through with healing, they might come through to give someone energy, and lecture someone about getting out more in the garden or in the fresh air. So what else might they bring? It is hard to teach. It's easy to give you the basics, but the rest of it is through practice and learning and interpreting how you feel about things. But I always find it's best to just give out what you feel rather than trying to interpret what you feel. I might, at the moment, I'm feeling really tired and somebody that doesn't want to talk much. So I know I've got a quiet spirit here with me. But I don't want to interpret more than that at the moment. I don't know why they're feeling tired. I don't know why they're losing my voice, why they stop speaking. These are things for you to ask. As we're working, we're asking questions. Why did you lose your voice? Why did you stop speaking? Was it a throat problem? Are you just tired? And then feel the answer. When I first started, again, I used to go through the letters of the alphabet, and I used to say, like, to get Spirit's name, it's very long-winded, I used to go through the alphabet like A, B, C, D, E, F. And whatever letter I stopped on, whatever letter I felt I stopped on, I knew that their name began with an F. And then I would go through, in my head, I would go, oh, is it Fred? Freddie, Frederica, is it Philip is an F, but it's just sprung to mind. I think that's for me here. So Then I go through the list of names beginning with F. My mind's gone blank at the moment. I'm sure you can fill in all the different words, all the different names. No, blank. I don't know whether it's because I'm off of the spirit world or whether it's dementia. I'm not sure. It'll be one or the other. So I think that's all we need to know about clairsentience for today. I'm going to do clairaudience next. I'm going to do hearing next. Any questions, please write them down in the comments. Subscribing would be lovely. Liking would be lovely. I'm not sure when I'm going to do my next video, but I am going to try and do one at least once a week. So I'd say the next one will be about clairsentience. Have I crossed over again? Thank you very much, and I will see you all again shortly.